हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू द चैनल सोशल साइंस विद दीपांकर। आज के इस वीडियो में हम समझने जा रहे हैं डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ पावर शेयरिंग। मेरे पिछले वीडियो में हमने डिस्कस किया था श्रीलंका और बेल्जियम के केसेस को हमने सेपरेटली डिस्कस किया, वहाँ की प्रॉब्लम्स को हमने डिस्कस किया और किस तरह के कदम वहाँ पर उठाए गए। श्रीलंका में क्या हुआ, सिविल वॉर तक होता है पावर शेयरिंग के ना होने के केस में, और बेल्जियम में किस तरीके से रीजनल अकोमोडेशन किया गया और पावर शेयर किया गया। ओके उसके बाद हमने डिस्कस किया था पावर शेयरिंग क्यों जरूरी है, व्हाई पावर शेयरिंग इज डिजायरेबल। ठीक है, और आज के इस वीडियो में ये चैप्टर का लास्ट वीडियो है, और जिन्होंने पिछले वीडियो नहीं देखे उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा प्लीज डू वॉच द प्रीवियस वीडियोस आल्सो सो दैट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द होल चैप्टर। एंड आल्सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट दोज हु आर न्यू ऑन द चैनल, प्लीज डू सब्सक्राइब द चैनल एंड डू वॉच द वीडियो टिल द एंड so that you can understand the whole topic. Okay, so let us without much ado start the topic of the day. The topic that we have taken is different forms of power sharing. Okay, let's start. Now we are going to discuss the different forms of power sharing. So the first type that we are going to discuss is power is shared among different organs of government. Different organs of government. Now what are the different organs of government? The different organs of government are the legislature, okay, the executive and the judiciary. These are the three organs of government. Legislature, you can say for the entire country, parliament is there, that is the legislature. For a particular state, like if we talk about the example of our country, then we have in every state there is a state government. Okay, there is a state legislature also, विधानसभा जिसको हम कहते हैं। तो जो संसद है वो पार्लियामेंट है पूरे एंटायर कंट्री के लिए। तो लेजिस्लेचर जो है एक लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी है। एग्जीक्यूटिव, दो तरह के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स होते हैं, परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव और पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव्स। एग्जीक्यूटिव एक आप कह सकते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट ही है, ठीक है, एक छोटा सा ग्रुप होता है लोगों का जिसके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है पूरे देश को चलाने की। और जुडिशियरी आपको मालूम है कि किस तरह से लॉ को अगर जो बनाई गई है या देश में जस्टिस को किस तरीके से, जुडिशियरी का काम मेनली ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन का है। और फिर भी मैंने अपने पुराने वीडियो में भी बहुत सारे डिस्कशन इसके ऊपर किया हुआ है। तो यहाँ पर हम वेरी क्विकली बात करेंगे हाउ पावर इज शेयर्ड अमंग डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट। नाउ this can be called a horizontal distribution of power share. Why it is called horizontal distribution of power share? Because each one of these organs is placed at the same level. No organ is superior to the other. इस तीनों ऑर्गन्स में से कोई बड़ा या छोटा नहीं है, तीनों ऑर्गन जो है एक लेवल पे है, ठीक है। वो इसलिए है, और ये सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर इसलिए जरूरी है ताकि किसी ऑर्गन के पास अनलिमिटेड पावर्स ना आ जाए। ओके, एक दूसरे को चेक करने का काम करते हैं। जैसे हमने क्लास 9 में भी पढ़ा था कि जो मिनिस्टर्स होते हैं या गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स होते हैं जो पावर वो एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, बट दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू द पार्लियामेंट और द स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर। ओके, जो एग्जीक्यूटिव जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे गवर्नमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, गवर्नमेंट में मिनिस्टर्स होते हैं, गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स होते हैं, बट and they exercise a lot of power, right? But they are answerable to the parliament, they are answerable to the state legislature. Okay, और जो भी लॉज बनाई जाती है, लेजिस्लेचर जो भी लॉ बनाती है, उस लॉज को चेक करने का काम कौन करती है? जुडिशियरी। यानी कि जुडिशियरी चेक्स द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव। आप देखेंगे द जजेस आर अपॉइंटेड बाय द executive. The judges are appointed by the executive, but the judiciary checks the functioning of executive. Okay, जो जज होते हैं वो अपॉइंट होते हैं एग्जीक्यूटिव द्वारा, लेकिन जुडिशियरी क्या करती है? जुडिशियरी एग्जीक्यूटिव के फंक्शन को चेक करने का काम करती है। मान लीजिए एग्जीक्यूटिव कोई लॉ बनाती है, वो लॉ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के मुताबिक है या नहीं है, उसको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली वैलिड मानना या इनवैलिड मानना, ये काम कौन करती है? जुडिशियरी करते हैं। तो इस तरीके से एक दूसरे को चेक एंड बैलेंस करने का काम करते हैं। तो पावर, इस तरह के जो पावर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है, यानी कि पावर शेयरिंग जो हो रही है, वो पावर शेयरिंग जिसको बोलते हैं हॉरिजॉन्टल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ power share. Okay, this is called horizontal distribution of power share. Why? I have just now told you this is called horizontal distribution of power share because each one of these organs is equal at par with each other, with one another, right? No organ is superior to the other. The तीनों organ जो है, they are placed at the same level and they try to check and balance one another. This way, a check and balance system is created, balance of power is created. Power is not concentrated in a few hands only. Okay, this is the reason actually the separation of power, why it was kept there in the constitution. Separation of power इसलिए करना जरूरी है ताकि कोई भी organ unlimited power exercise ना कर पाए. तो मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है जिस तरीके से लेजिस्लेचर किस तरीके से जो है एग्जीक्यूटिव को कंट्रोल करने का काम करती है, पार्लियामेंट किस तरह से गवर्नमेंट को कंट्रोल करने का काम करते हैं, गवर्नमेंट जो है आंसरेबल होती है पार्लियामेंट के लिए या स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर के लिए, और जुडिशरी किस तरह से, हालांकि जुडिशरी के जजेस भी अपॉइंट होते हैं एग्जीक्यूटिव के द्वारा, लेकिन जुडिशरी जो है वो चेक करने का काम करती है एग्जीक्यूटिव के फंक्शन को. तो ये चेक एंड बैलेंस का काम होता है. इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द सिस्टम ऑफ check and balance. So first kind of power sharing that we have discussed here is the power that is shared among different organs of government, and it is also called horizontal distribution of power share. Okay, the next form of power sharing that we are going to discuss is how power is shared among different government at different levels. Now you can see I've written down over here the government the different governments in a vertical order. Okay, central government at the top, then the state government, and then the local government. Unlike the previous one in which I had written the organs of the governments, legislature, executive, and judiciary at the horizontal. I mean horizontally they've been shown because each one of those organs is equal in power and they do different functions. Okay, but here we have to place these different governments in a vertical order so that we can show that how central government is bit more powerful than the state government, and then the state government is more powerful than the local government in terms of importance also. Like central government is there, that is for the entire country. Okay, so power is shared among governments at different levels. The central government is there. We may have different names, right, for central government, like normally we can call it a federal government also. So for the entire country, the government that is responsible for the entire country, that we can call as federal government. In our country we call it central government, or we can also call it union government. Okay, then we have the state government, and in different countries there can be different nomenclature to it, like it can be called a provincial government or a regional government. Okay, and then we have the local government. See, if we talk about our country, we find that we have a system in which how power is shared among different levels of government, but not in every country the same kind of system is there. In certain countries we might find only one level of government, okay, wherein the power is concentrated in the hands of central government only. Okay, there is only one government that is for the entire country, and only the central government has all the powers. But in our country we have different levels of government. Central government is there, that is for the entire country, and for each state, for every individual state we have state governments also. And further we have decentralized the power. We have extended the power to the local government as well. So power can be shared among different levels of government. Just now as I told you that not in every country the similar system is there. In certain countries there can be only one government system, that is called unitary government system. Okay, where only one kind of government is there and concentration of power is there. Just as in the case of Belgium, what actually had happened in Belgium. In Belgium we had earlier this unitary system of government. Later the constitution was amended, and then it was changed into a federal form of government. Okay, that we had discussed in the previous videos also. If you haven't gone through, please kindly go through that. In Belgium we have the central government, we have the state government, we have a separate government for the capital, we have a separate government for the different communities over there. So different levels of governments are there. So that system is called a federal system of government. Okay, So federal system of government is, you can see how power is shared, how decentralization happens. Okay, so this is also uh, yet another form of power sharing. We can say this kind of system of power sharing is called vertical distribution of power share. This is also known as vertical distribution of power share. The previous one that we had just discussed now, we had just discussed the previous one in which we were talking about the sharing of power among different organs of government. That was horizontal distribution of power. But when the power is shared among government at different levels, like as I've seen, as I've written over here, that how they're placed at, in a vertical order. At the top I've written central government, then the state government, and the local government. So you can say, you can see in terms of importance they have been placed. At the top we have placed central government, and then the state government, and then the local government. So this is called the vertical distribution of power share. Okay, so power can be shared among government at different levels as well. Children, okay, the next type of power sharing that we are going to discuss is how power is shared among different social groups also. See, we can give various examples over here from our country also, as well as from Belgium. You must have heard about the community government there in Belgium. That was for what purpose? The community government was there for the purpose of protecting the linguistic, the cultural, the traditional interests of different communities over there. The major communities that we had already discussed, the Dutch, the French, and the German. Okay, even though the community that is living there is the most micro minority community, it doesn't matter, their number doesn't matter, but it is just that their language, their tradition should also be preserved and protected. They should also feel that they are also part of the country, and in the constitution such provisions should be there. Okay, just now a short while ago we were discussing the horizontal distribution of power share and vertical division of power. See, the division of power has been done, and all the provisions are constitutionally guaranteed also. Okay, that is the reason we would say that the country would be able to function in a more democratic manner, in a more transparent manner, and in a more in such an environment where there will be more trust among different communities. So here, to increase the trust among different social groups also, this kind of power sharing is very much important. The community government is one example, plus the system of reserved constituencies in our country. The system of reserved constituency, we know that we are providing reservations to the weaker sections. Our country gives reservations to the weaker sections, the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes. You must have heard about it in class 9th also, you studied about it. Okay, so the weaker sections and the women, okay, they need to be represented in the legislatures, in the parliament. Okay, so different schemes of the government can be there, reservations can be there. That will be to make them feel to be the part of the entire country, to be the part of the society. They should not feel alienated. And minorities also, through this system of power sharing, minorities should also feel that they are also part of the country. Okay, their interests, their needs should also be protected. Okay, this is how, I mean, when power is shared among different social groups, it increases the trust between and among the communities. I hope this point is very clear to you. Children, the next type of power sharing, or next form of power sharing that we are going to discuss, is how power is shared among different political parties. Okay, political parties are there, what are their functions? They contest elections, they represent different communities, social groups. Okay, so power can be shared among different political parties also. Pressure groups are there. There are many social groups. Okay, pressure groups are there, interest groups are there. They try to control, political parties also control the government or influence the government. Political parties are there, pressure groups are there. From the name itself it is clear, pressure groups are meant for putting pressure on the government so that they can get their demands fulfilled. Okay, interest groups are there, those who work for some long term goals. Okay, they might be heading with some agendas, they might be coming up with some issues, and on that they might be working for a long time. okay, they also influence those who are in power or those who run the government. And movements are also there. You can see, you must have heard about different kinds of movements from time to time in our country, that have been organized by different groups, okay, different pressure groups or farmers groups or traders groups, business. We would have different types of pressure groups, of course. So there can be different social groups, right? Different pressure groups or interest groups, they might be putting pressure on the government so that they can get their demands fulfilled. So power is shared among political parties. In the way these political parties function, pressure groups function, interest groups function, movements also, and how they control and influence those in power, means government में जो है या जो लोग गवर्नमेंट चला रहे हैं, right, those people who are actually the government, how they can be influenced, how they can be controlled by the actions of political parties, pressure groups and interest groups. Okay, like I can give the example. In every democracy we would see that there are, people, of course people have a right to elect their candidates, okay, they do that. So this way also, we see that a kind of competition happens among different political parties to win the support of people, okay. By winning the votes of people, every political party wants to say that yes, we are the most popular political party, we are being voted for by the people, right? So in a modern democracy there will be a kind of power sharing, and that can be seen in the competition among different political parties, okay, that will be there. Plus we can see such kind of power sharing in a more direct nature also. When suppose no political party gains absolute majority or the simple majority that is required to form the government, in that case different political parties might come together to form a coalition. They first form an alliance, and when that alliance is, in a position to form the government, that kind of government is called कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट. जो गठबंधन वाली जो सरकार होती है, जिसमें अलग अलग पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, दो या दो से ज्यादा पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज मिलकर जो है, जितनी मेजॉरिटी उनको रिक्वायर्ड होती है, उतना सरकार बनाने के लिए जितना चाहिए होता है वो अगर हासिल कर लेती है और सरकार अगर बना लेती है, तो ऐसे में वो कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट चलाती है. तो कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट जब बनती है तो उसमें जो डिफरेंट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं वो भी गवर्नमेंटल पावर को शेयर करते हैं. अब आप ये देखेंगे कि जितने प्रेशर ग्रुप्स की भी अगर बात करें या इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप्स की बात करें, प्रेशर ग्रुप और इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप में ज्यादा खास डिफरेंस नहीं है. प्रेशर ग्रुप क्या होती है? जो गवर्नमेंट से इमीडिएट रिजल्ट्स चाहते हैं, वो अपने डिमांड्स को इमीडिएटली फुलफिल कराना चाहते हैं. जबकि इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप जो है वो लॉन्ग टर्म पर्पस के लिए लड़ाई लड़ती है अपनी, और काफी ज्यादा पेशेंस के साथ अपना काम करती है. तो प्रेशर ग्रुप्स क्या करती है, कई बार गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर वो भी प्रेशर डालने का या गवर्नमेंट के सामने मांग रख सकती है कि हमारी ये मांगे पूरी की जाए, और मांगों को पूरा करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट और उनके ऊपर ध्यान देने के लिए गवर्नमेंट क्या करती है, कमिटीज बनाती है. जब कमिटीज बनाई जाती है तो उस कमिटी में कई बार आप ये देखेंगे कि अगर मान लीजिए जैसे अभी फार्म लॉस को लेकर ही कुछ देश में मूवमेंट छिड़ा हुआ था, कुछ प्रोटेस्ट छिड़े हुए थे, रोड ब्लॉक हुआ, सारी चीजें हुई, फार्मर्स, एक बड़े लार्ज सेक्शन ऑफ फार्मर्स में थोड़ी अनरेस्ट और थोड़ा सा जो है डिससेटिस्फैक्शन था गवर्नमेंट के जो 3 लॉज जो रिसेंटली बनाए गए थे, राइट. तो उसमें आप ये देखोगे कि कमेटी बनाने की बात की जा रही थी, और कैसे कमेटी के अंदर ही फार्मर्स से, फ्रॉम अमंग द farmers only, there will be people who will be representing the farmers interests. So there will be people from different pressure groups or political from different interest groups. They will be forming the part of the government committees, and thus they will be sharing power, governmental power. ठीक है. जो कमिटीज बनाई जाती है उसमें आप ये देखोगे कि अलग अलग इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप के लोग, अगर वो मुद्दा फार्मर्स से जुड़ा हुआ है तो आप ये देखेंगे कि फार्मर्स के जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं वो गवर्नमेंटल कमिटीज का हिस्सा बनते हैं, ताकि वो गवर्नमेंट को अपना इनपुट्स दे सके. इस तरीके से जो है पावर शेयर की जाती है. ठीक है. तो पावर शेयर करने का आप इसमें ये एक और फॉर्म जिसको हमने डिस्कस किया है. उम्मीद है आपको ये क्लियर समझ में आया होगा. कोई क्वेश्चंस है, कोई डाउट्स है, डेफिनेटली जरूर पूछिए. सवाल पूछने में आप बिल्कुल भी डोंट हेजिटेट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस. आई विल बी हैप्पीली आंसरिंग योर क्वेश्चंस, एंड इन द एंड आई वुड से टेक ए वेरी गुड केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ. हैव ए नाइस टाइम. बाय बाय.